it tries to run. Okay. So stick with me and I'll try to figure it out. I will go through the data log with you. I'll go through what parts I look at. Maybe we'll get it to run real good. Hey gang, Carl here. Okay, I hope this works out. I'm gonna troubleshoot. What I have here with that car is a sort of a retune because it went from stock LT1. I put the torque head on and tuned it, and that's relatively straightforward. Then Nabil Guffey installed the customer's dream motor. He got like a 396 cubic inch, 577 horsepower, AFR headed engine. I put it together, put it on the dyno, all that. Anyway, so I have to, do the retune. So I'm doing the tune over again, and I put like a starting tune in it, which was a similar combo. Basically, to get it from Nabil up onto the trailer to my house, I put a similar combo, and I put a de Blasio's combo in there. All I did was change fuel injector data. Same cubes and same big cams, kind of, same idea. And just different fuel injectors. Yeah, a different mass flow detector. Well, anyway, that tune does not work, at least for the initial start. Now, I'm making this video I guess so you can see my process, my troubleshooting process, what I do. If it's your car, there's no particular order what you are going to do. I'll just show you what I do. You could start somewhere. You could start at the fuel pressure, double check that. You can start at vacuum leaks, double check that. I just sprayed the junk, the tree stuff where it was sitting for a while at the installer. So what is my plan? My plan is first to look at data on the on HP tuners and just see if there's anything obvious, like O2 sensors aren't working. And I want to see if it is actually running lean, which it seems like. Here, let me start it and let you hear it. It's a 96, so it's OBD2. Now I'm going to pull it in the garage when I do the work. No foot on the gas. So it has the initial start. The startup is good. The initial, that part of the tune where it spits the right fuel in there. But after that, I got to keep the throttle. I got to give it throttle. You can't let go of the throttle, and it's not really a throttle position. It's a feeling thing. This is with the mass flow detector plugged in. At least it is running, and it sounds okay when you rev it. It's not misfiring or sputtering. And then I just unplug this for what we'll call it the speed density, to get it to run in speed density. And I've already run it, so I know what it sounds like, but this is for what you can hear it. Okay, that's no throttle to help it, give it air. It's basically the same. I mean, yeah, maybe the gasoline is super old, maybe it's a year old, but the gas should last longer than that. Sometimes it's something like that. But I'm used to having it run a lot better with the initial tune. Oh, first thing I'm going to do is pull it into the shop. one thing I gotta do is rock scraped. And he scooped up rocks from his driveway. Yes, the first thing I do is give it a look over. I looked it over at NABS. Obvious things like spark plug wires, coils, things unplugged, vacuum leaks. This is unplugged on purpose. Big gaps. Like, a lot of times it won't run at all very well because if this water pump temperature connection has been forgotten, that happens a lot, and it'll run terribly, I guess, rich because it thinks it's super cold. It's got a new manifold pressure. Sometimes even spark plugs get crisscrossed and it just runs pretty bad then, of course. That's one thing I'm going to check is fuel pressure, but not right now. So I'm going to get under the car with the lift and just look at general underneath what's going on, if everything looks plugged in. O2 sensors specifically. Now I have to see, what is this gooey, oily leak right here? It doesn't look good at all. But. All right, so I wiped a bit and I looked around, and all I gotta do is just make sure this cable gets tie wrapped a little better. The O2 sensor, it's really close to the header. Anyway, I like having something clean to begin with, so I'm gonna look for leaks in more detail. It hasn't run enough to manifest a leak if there was any, but still. No leaks up there yet. And it's always a bummer if that happens, Looks like a new transmission also. Well, hopefully this will show it. I do think I see a valve cover leak. Wait, see right there, it looks kind of oily. And it's on the header, and then that comes down to the oil pan area there, or about up there where the blue gasket is. Next, okay, I'm going to check fuel pressure because I have no idea the status of this fuel pressure regulator. It looks new. It may be already set like it should be, but you never know. So I have a couple gauges. This is the one I use on the dyno because it gives me local pressure and for the data for the EFI. Let's turn the key and see what pressure we get. Okay, so after reviewing the video, it looks like it went up past 42, like somewhere up to 45 pounds. It doesn't hold pressure very well, but that's good. When the engine is running, the fuel pump will be pumping. So I'll keep that gauge in there for later diagnostics. Now here's one good sign. I can communicate with the vehicle, with the torque head computer, the P01, 0411 PCM. It does communicate. So at the engine swap, when I was at Nabil's, I could not get it to communicate to flash or to read the PCM, but it does scan. That is good. So if it scans, let's see if, let's disconnect the vehicle and let's see if I can read. So one thing I couldn't, it may have been just because of the alarm and I didn't have the alarm in the right setting. Read vehicle, let's see if it can gather information and communicate with the vehicle. This is what it could not do last time. Yay, it's working. It had to have been the alarm. So this is good news. The first thing I'm going to do, instead of data log, I need to see if it'll flash without having to take the computer out and doing a bench flash. So I added 50 pounds an hour globally to all of the idle airflow. Just because I saved the file as I had it, and then this one's called 50 pounds idle airflow added. And so I am going to try to flash that into the car, into the PCM, after I find out how the alarm is set up, because if this thing kind of goes into alarm while I'm flashing, that's not going to be very fun. Okay, it's writing. I'm taking my chances because this isn't brickable if the battery or the alarm makes it go wacko, and it's only 20 seconds. I want to give it a try, and it does flash in. Sorry, it cranked good, but it doesn't hold very good. I got my foot on the throttle. And if I take my foot off the throttle, so I'm going to go do a throttle crack. Where's it? Throttle position. That is showing 1 mile an hour on speed. Throttle position 10%, so we're not into idle parameters. See, there's idle. We got nope. Throttle position at 0. See how it's 3.5. It doesn't even know that it's idling, so I'll fix that. Okay, next. Oil leak from the valve cover, okay? I needed to fix that first instead of getting oil all over the place while I tuned. Like oil in my driveway. AFR heads, they need every valve cover bolt, no matter what the valve cover is, they need to be shortened a little bit because the AFRs don't tap far enough in. And these were not. And I think that I didn't see a bad gasket when I took it off, but I think it just wasn't tight enough. I am hoping, because the valve cover was leaking right here. So next, what am I going to do? Throttle position with the blade closed is showing like 3%. So this needs to be slotted out and fixed. And then we'll begin to tune and go from there. That may be the very beginnings of what trouble we're having. Okay, now see how it's angled forward like that? That will give it, it used to be straight up. So now it has a little more, the closed position is a little closer to actual closed. Basically you slot it so you can move it forward. All right, now for this, I'm looking for throttle position. Good, we're at 0%. It still doesn't start real good. I'm in speed density right now. So, but we do have good fuel pressure. It may back out. I'm having trouble maintaining the idle RPM. Look at a good data log. It's closed throttle. But it's fueling good. you want to hear the idle. Okay, I got the idle going a little better. I can't let it go too low. It's hard to run a big cam at a low idle. Now this is speed density without the mass flow detector. You see my valve cover leak. See, look at the mat. It's 80 kPa. This cam is huge. Oh, it's split block learns. Adding fuel on the left side. That's a bummer. All right. Anyway, that fixed it. Throttle position. Now I can tune better with that throttle position sensor fixed. Now I'll just work on a very difficult big cam, try to get it tuned and try to get the oil leaks fixed. Okay gang, I fixed an oil leak and I let it set for a while. I put a new gasket on the valve cover. And now I also just added more mass flow detector. Actually I went 10%, that's a lot, but anyway. I'm gonna back her out so I don't smoke my up. Well, that didn't work, did it? Okay, I hope I fixed the valve cover. So anyway, I noticed that it was not giving what I programmed in for idle airflow, base idle airflow. So I did a right and tire, and basically all I did was add a little bit of mass flow detector, 10% down low. And let's see how she works now. Let's record. I was noticing that, like, incompatible software. What the heck? Alright, so sorry I didn't get video. I had to get like software update repair on this. Look at the dash just came. Anyway, it seems to be running good at idle. It seems to be like a little stumble at tip in. No, it's okay. But then it has to catch once it rolls past that and it comes back, okay? So free idle, it's pretty good, but then it has to catch down there. And it doesn't seem to be as rich. Now, I don't know if the valve cover's leak is fixed. So anyway, where's our fueling? Yeah, it's still adding 25% on the left on the driver's side. Okay, and that's with the mass flow detector plugged in. I'm going to turn it off and go and unplug the mass flow detector and see what it does, speed density. Quick way to do that is just unplug this. It goes into the low octane spark tables, but that's fine for idling. I have to reset the fuel trims. And we'll see what she does. Short terms wanting to add fuel in the left side. Is there a vacuum leak on that side? Look, and the right side is taking fuel away. It's a split. All right, gang. No oil leak. What am I looking at? Yeah. Especially up there at the valve cover. That's where it was coming from. It's wet from previous. Whew. I'm glad I fixed that. That was a lot of oil spewing. Check out up here. Coolant remnants, maybe. See, look up there from when they bled. Well, hopefully this means that I'm going to a speed density tune right now. All open loop. I put a lot more spark timing at the idle areas, low map area, and we'll see how this works. Sorry, I keep forgetting to videotape the startup. I went to a speed density, and I have another customer who's got a similar combo, so I just put those parameters into this tune. Idling a bit low. I'll show you the parameters in the tune, like idle, RPM, set point. I have it at 900, right? So it's struggling to maintain 900. Here's this thing. It's this guy's remote. Anyway, so see, it's struggling to maintain 900. I gotta figure out how to help it. So you can see, like, yeah, it's adding, it wants more idle airflow. So I'll let it go for a while and then just add 20 pounds idle airflow. Now let's see what. Bank. I wonder if the O2 sensor is a bit lazy. It's very snappy though. Snappy throttle. I like this tune so far. Let me put it in reverse. Put it in drive. Yeah, it needs more idle airflow. Okay. So I'm giving this speed density tune its second attempt. Only change is adding more base running idle airflow. So let's see if it helps it for the idle. Right, complete. All right. Now we go to the key off. Key back on, and I want to get the recording going, and I want to watch what it's asking for, and no foot on the throttle. It's asking for 170, 160, so it needed to give it more. I should put RPM in this graph. Yeah, it likes that a lot better. Okay, see, it's only adding 2. Let me give it a flip and see if it catches when it comes down. Which it, all right, it needs to decel slower. See, it comes down and then it needs to recover. So I'll work on that. Forgive my shaky hand. I'm going to give the throttle a try here. Gave it a good squeeze. I didn't want to spin the tire because of it's a little wet. But I do need to see like how it's fueling. So I can do that right here. How do you like that? Nice. That feels pretty good. I am trying one last attempt. I'm going to see what no startup flare control does on an engine start. Let it get recording. Let me back up. Turn lights out. How does it do that? All right, I think the owner is going to like this. The idle is a bit high, but it's a big cam. Going to call it done and deliver this to him or have him come pick it up. This is a AFR head, big cam, hydraulic cam, 396 cubic inch. Built by me a while back, and it was dynoed at 577 horsepower. He's taking away idle. That's not so bad.